I'm Colin Fix. I'm a senior character designer on Bioshock 2. The job of a character designer is to work with your creative leads and try to figure out basically the overall look of the characters in the game. It was so insane how my just personal art and kind of my aesthetic fit with the Bioshock world so well. Like Jordan would start talking about, weird creepy masks, and I'm like, weird creepy masks! They're all over my sketchbook, and and they're my portfolio. I love weird creepy masks. And he mentioned something about some horror movie. I'm like, I love that horror movie. Like everything just like clicked so perfectly. I was like, I have to do this. My very first day here, I sat down with Jordan Thomas, the creative director, and he's like, hey, psst, come over here, let's go in this conference room and talk for a little bit. I'm like, okay. So usually you'd think like your first day is you're making sure that your email is set up and then you have the proper tools and your seat's okay and all. He takes me into a room and just immediately starts throwing all these ideas at me about who this character is. I'm like, holy crap, dude, like what? Whew, it's kind of a big overload, but it's sort of like that working with Jordan throughout the project. So like the big sister, like the first day, he sits me down, he starts talking about this character that he was thinking of as like a wounded bird or like a bird with broken wings or possibly relating her as a butterfly and being like welded together and broken and all these things. I'm like, good Lord, and like it's a big daddy, but it's a girl this time, and she's a teenage girl, and I'm like, oh my God. So then I go back to my desk and like I have all this information, so I just had to sit down and start sketching these ideas out. Again, kind of trying to use elements from the first big daddies, like the cage and the bouncer. I was thinking that the little sisters were kind of a keyhole shape and the big daddies were giant squares. It was kind of a challenge of conveying this kind of tortured soul, like a sad person who's experienced loss. She's come back to Rapture and maybe she's gathering things that were important to her when she was a little kid. It kind of had this eclectic, weird look to her. I think Jordan was kind of cueing in on this one. He liked something about the look of it. Kind of looked like she could be kind of dangerous or be able to hurt you, whether it's physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, just it's someone who's experienced something horrible in their life and is trying to deal with it. So then I was working on this. It was starting to come together for me. She felt kind of awkward and kind of tortured. But then I was talking to Jeff Weir, our animation supervisor, about it. He kind of looked at it and he said, I think it's looking cool, but something about it just isn't threatening. With that in mind, I worked out this sketch, which kind of felt more threatening and creepy. I took the bouncer character and kind of deconstructed the bouncer and thought about like all the little elements on him. How could I shift them and rearrange them and make it into this new character? So like the cage that's on the front of him over his helmet, I took it and I moved it to her back and I kind of had it offset. And I kind of had this idea where it was kind of like her spine. And so it's like she's sort of like this twisted, sad, broken character. The idea that she's a little girl trying to wear this Big Daddy armor, that she would need some sort of help. Jeff came up with the idea of having the little bows on her. You're conveying the idea of female, little girl. The idea for the cage was that the sister would start kidnapping little girls and turn them into little sisters. So the cage was a place that she could put them, and it'd be kind of a safe house or like a womb sort of thing. So the little sisters would be on the back and they would do little kid drawings on her tank. So I put little kid drawings on it and they would decorate her with bows and kind of like a little girl would do to her friend.
This way.
There's a new class of character called the Brute, which is basically like a big mutated Hulk type of character. An earlier version of the Brute. Jeff and I really wanted to make sure that this character didn't look like he went to the gym and worked out each individual muscle group. He just looked like a big guy who, was maybe mutated some through genetics, but also just kind of naturally big and strong. Basically, I looked at him as a guy who's addicted to steroids, and he just wants to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, like his watch, his like muscles and everything grew around the watch. And with just the splicers in general, I really saw them as junkies. They are, they're addicted to Adam. So I tried to incorporate some visuals from real life junkies into the splicers. Whatever clothing he was kind of wearing is just kind of ripped and shredded because he's gotten bigger, but maybe he was walking through Rapture one day and wanted to make himself feel good, so he found like a tie on a dead guy or something and took it off and put it on himself to kind of make himself, you know, feel better about life. And then of course I incorporated some butt crack because that's fun. I think the splicers are essentially sad and gross, so there's a lot of things like that that we incorporated into these characters. That was a big component for the character design in Bioshock 2, was trying to get across visuals on the characters that help tell the story as well. Because that's one of the things that so successful in Bioshock 1 with the environments was you would walk into a room and just the room itself would tell you a story. It's been like the best project I've ever worked on, like, and I personally feel like redemption. I feel like I did a real good job. Hopefully other people will feel the same, but I feel real positive about the experience.
A behind-the-scenes look at 2K's epic sequel, Bioshock 2. All 5 exclusive interviews available for download now on Xbox Live.